Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Here we are going to discuss some past papers. Still, I think six students. I think both classes having more than 50 or 60 students, but only 5 students are joined with the session. Right? It is not good practice actually. We are doing here extra classes. Some of the question papers we already discussed in the college, right? But that actually not all the question papers, some of the question papers we discussed in the college. Here we are going to discuss some other papers. It is very important for your exam. You must pass the exam, right? If you want to complete the diploma, then this general part also should complete, right? 3-hour paper, you will get a 3-hour paper. Then first I will introduce the structure of the paper. Also, I want to inform that yesterday I did for the CE 3, yes, 3 and 4. Yesterday I did one class. Then I did 2019 question paper. That part, only the part of the question 2019 one. I am not going to do the same paper here, right? Because the recording is available. You can get the recording through your WhatsApp group. Then go through the recording and get the discussion of that class, yesterday's class. Right? Then you will understand, you will get the answers for the 2019 question paper. Then today I am going to discuss some of the remaining question in the 2019 and the 2018 question paper. Right? Then students who from CE 3 and CE 4 can share the today's one. Right? Then we can discuss more question in that way. Right? Okay, the first time introducing the structure that already you know the structure. However, I am giving the little idea about the structure again. Your question paper having 2 parts. Right? Question paper having 2 parts. Then look at the board here. The question paper having 2 parts, that part 1 and part 2. This part 1 consists of 3 sections. Right? First 10 question for short answers. Short answer type question. Here actually they are allowing to write down actually 1 or 2 words for the answer. Right? 1 or 2 word answers. Then second 10 question, that means 11 to 20, all question in MCQ format, multiple choice questions there. Right? 4 options available. 1 option you have to mark as the correct one. Then third 10 question, also short answer type. But in this case, they allow you to write down some sentence, 1 sentence, not long sentence. You want to give the answer through the short sentences, only one line answer expecting here. Right, that's the part 1. Then part 2 containing together 8 question. However, you want to answer only 5 out of 8 question. You want to answer only 5 questions here. Right, to complete all the parts, part 1 and 2, they are given 3 hours. 3 hours that the time allowed. Through this 3 hours, you want to complete the answer paper. Right, that's the structure and initial instruction of the question paper. I think in this year examination that initial papers, I think this general subject papers, right? Before going to your subject papers, then you want to face the this general subject paper. Right. Okay. Then today I am going to I am going to introduce, start with the 2019 paper that yesterday I discussed, this 2019 one. In that question paper, however, having some remaining question. Right. I am going to discuss not all, some of the remaining part of the 2019 question. Right. Then look at I think all of you are having the question papers. I assume that you are having the question paper. If you are having that, then please take the question paper and look at the question paper. Otherwise, please look at the screen. In the screen also, you can see the question paper. Then otherwise, if you are not having the question paper, then after the today's lesson, then I am uploading the relevant 2 or 3 years question papers. Right. Up to this point, yesterday we discussed actually, this is the third question, part 1, third section. That means short answers, but one line, they are allowing to write down some sentences here, short sentence. Right. Up to question number 25, yesterday we discussed. From that point, we'll see here. Question number 26, here asking which unit of computer processor control the hardware of a computer. Hardware of a computer. They're asking which unit of a computer processor. Right? Can someone tell me the answer? Can someone suggest the answer here? Here the computer processor. Processor mean what? Computer processor. Which unit of computer processor? In short, we can say CPU, Central Processing Unit. Which unit of the CPU controls the hardware? And if you consider the CPU, Central Processing Unit, normally having 3 parts. Can remember the 3 parts here? CPU. What are the 3 parts? First one, ALU, Arithmetic and Logic Unit. Then Control Unit and Registers. These are the 3 parts available in the CPU. The function of the ALU is perform all the arithmetic and logical function relevant to the task. Arithmetic and logical function. Right. Then control unit produce the control signals. Between hardware devices. That's the function of control unit. Right. Produce control signals. Signals between hardware unit. Then registers for improve the speed of the computer. Registers, we are using registers to improve the speed of the computer. Actually, register is small kind of memory, small type of memory available inside the CPU. Right? The purpose of having registers is increase the speed of the computer. Right. Now come back to the question. Which unit of CPU controls the hardware of a unit? Hardware controlling hardware through the control unit. This is the unit. Right. Here you want to answer control unit. Right. Then look at the next question. Briefly describe the secondary storage. Secondary storage. What's the purpose of having secondary storage? Can someone tell me what is secondary storage? Here you want to have some idea about memory types. How many memory types? Mainly, how many memory types available? How many memory types? Mainly, there are 2 memory types, RAM and ROM. RAM stand for random access memory. ROM stand for read-only memory. Right? RAM normally we are using as a temporary. temporary storage. ROM we are using for normally using as permanent. Here storing permanent type of data. The ROM having a special program called BIOS. Normally when starting the computer, the first program start to activate this BIOS program. This BIOS program storing inside the ROM memory. Right. Actually, here one thing forgot. According to this memory structure, actually that look at again. Memory, you can divide it into two parts, primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory and secondary memory. Actually, primary memory having the two section, RAM and ROM. RAM and ROM. Right, that earlier I am explaining that RAM and ROM. Then look at the secondary memory part. Secondary memory is available for users to store the user creating documents, right? Using various type of software. User may be able to creating documents using word processing. They are creating documents using PowerPoint, creating presentation, right? Using Excel, creating worksheet. User create many different kinds of types of documents. Whatever the documents created by the user can be stored inside the secondary memory. Right? So example for secondary memory is, the main example is hard disk. Then other than hard disk, can you tell me some other example? Can someone tell me another example for secondary memory? What are the memory types we are using to store our data, user created data? Pen drive, another example. Then CD or DVD. Right. These are the example for secondary memory. Right. Now, by that description, now you can answer this question here. Briefly describe the secondary storage. Right here, I'm not going to write down the answer. Then think about the answer here. Secondary memory. Secondary memory is one of the main type of memory mainly used to store the user created data. That's the first point you want to highlight. Use for user created data. Then you want to give some example for secondary storage. Right? Example here that earlier I mentioned: hard disk, pen drive, CD or DVD. Right. In that way, you can complete the answer here. Right. Now, look at the next one, question number 28. Write two usage of ICT in your teaching process. Two usages of ICT. What are the usage? Then here in that type of answers, you can think and write down. You know various kind of tools, ICT tools. Right. Then you can write down some examples. Then printers, you can through the printers you can get printout. Right. Then scanners, through the scanners you can scan your textbook. Right. Your educational textbook. Sometimes some pages or pictures you have to scan it. Then through the scanner you can scan. Then software also, various kind of software available. Right. Using PowerPoint you can make presentation. Right. Then Excel, you can use Excel for maintaining mark sheet. Right. You can create mark sheet through the Excel. Right. In that way, you can write down the ICT, how you can use ICT in your teaching process. Right. Then question number 29. Write an example for each of the following: relative cell reference, absolute cell reference. Right. Then first you want to identify the difference here. Absolute cell reference and relative cell reference. So here I am going to explain it through an example. Look at the example here. Right. This example. Right. Here having 3 columns. First for marks, then extra marks and pass mark. And the marks column having some marks here. Look at the nature of these marks. 38, 37, 23, like that, some lower marks. Right. Then suppose you want to add extra mark to pass the student. You want to increase the pass level. Right. To increase the pass level, you want to add some extra marks. Suppose you are going to add 15 marks for each student. Right. After you add in the 15 mark, then it reaches to 50 or above the 50. Then maybe the particular student will be passed. Then how you are going to add 15 marks for the existing marks? Think about how you are going to add it. There are different ways available to add the marks. The one way is you can just put the 15 on the extra marks column. You can put 15, 15 like that. You can copy the 15 for rest of the numbers in that way. Now go to the pass mark column. You want to get the first formula for D4. Therefore, move your mouse pointer to the D4. Then go to the formula bar. You can write down the formula. Start with equal symbol. Then how you are going to add the value in the B4. That means 38. Right. Then write down B4. You want to add B4. Use add mark, plus mark. Then add 15. Then add 15, or you can go to the C4 and click on it. The value of C4 added to the value of B4 and press enter key. Then you will get the result. Now you can copy this equation for the rest of the cell. Right? That first formula you already write down. Now you can copy it for the rest of the formula. Right. Now you can get the answer 53, 38. That this time now you can see most of the students get the more than 50, but after adding the extra mark. Right here, I want to point out that part here, this part here. First, look at the formula. Formula is B4 plus C4. B4 plus C4. Then next, move your mouse pointer to the next formula. Under pass mark column, move your mouse pointer to the next formula. That means the value 52 is available. Next one. The same time, look at the formula. What happened to formula? Right. I am now click on it. Now look at the formula. Now it become B5 plus C5. That earlier B4 plus C4. Now B4 plus C5. Right. Then click on the next one. The value 38. Right. Then what happened? B6 plus 6. Then if you are click the next cell, now your formula B7 plus C7. That means your cell address changing. When the formula change, the cell address also change. That means relative. This type of changing the cell address known as relative reference. Right? Always the formula will be changed according to the value. According to the next value, formula will be changed. That is called relative. Right. At the same time, I am going to explain what is absolute. In the absolute case, when we change the value, the cell address may not be changed. Right. That's the same example. Suppose I'm going to delete these values here. Now suppose your extra marks, right? Extra marks is available in a separate cell. Right? Extra marks suppose available as 15 in cell C2. C2. Now you are going to add the value of C2 for each marks here. Right, value of C2 each mark here. Right, you want to write down the formula for the pass mark column. Under that, the first column is D4. Therefore, move your mouse pointer to D4 here. Now you can write down the formula. Start with equal symbol. Now you want to add under marks column the first value 38 with extra mark. Now extra marks is available in the C2. Therefore, use plus mark with C2 value in the C2 and click enter button here. Right. Now I am going to copy this equation to the cell of the rest of the cells. Then what happened? Then see what happened here. After I am copying it, then what happened there? Is it get the correct answer? Second one, value. Then third one, 23, the same value. Then what happened? The correct answer is not getting here. Why? What's the reason for that? Now check the equation. The first one, B4 plus C2. Then move to the value. Click on here. Then look at the equation. Then B5 plus C3. Earlier C2. Now C3. The next cell having B6 plus C4. That means still relative references are referring here. Still not become the absolute. Right. Now see how can set the absolute addresses for this example. Right now I am deleting the values here, including the formula. Move to the formula here. Then start with the equal symbol. Now first value 38 under marks column. You want to add the value in C2. Right. Before inserting the C2, you want to follow these things. Insert a dollar mark. Insert a dollar mark. Now type C. Right. Then again insert a dollar mark. Then type 2. Right. In cell address, in this cell address, start with dollar mark. Then character, that means C. After that, again dollar mark. After that, number. Right. Then cell addresses you want to give in that way. If you are giving in this format, it is called absolute format or absolute reference of the equation or formula. Right. Now enter key, press enter key here. Once you press enter key in the relevant answer, you can see here. Now copy it to the rest of the cell. Right. Once you copied it, what happened? The exact answers are there now. Correct answers are there. Right. Please mute your microphones. Right. Now correct answers are available. Now check the equation. The first one, $C, $2. Right. Now move your mouse cell pointer to the next one, next value, 52. Once you click on the 52, the same time check what happened to the equation. Click on here. Then what happened? Only the B5 is changed, but the other part is not changed. It's remaining as the earlier one. If you are clicking, click on the 38, only the B6, B5 become B6, but $C2, that part is not changing. Right? It remaining as the same. Next, if you are clicking on the next cell, 54, only the B7, it is not absolute. B7 is relative. The other part is absolute reference. That's the difference between relative and absolute references. Relative case, in the case of relative, always formula, that means cell address change in cell address. But in the absolute case, cell addresses are not changed. The same value you can appear in the each and every formula in the application. Right. Now back to the equation question. Here you can, I think now you can write down the some example for relatives and absolute cell references. Right. Then look at the next part. Write 4 criteria that you can be used to evaluate an educational software. Educational software. How you are going to evaluate the educational software? What are the factors? What are the factors you consider to evaluate? Or what are the criteria you are going to use to evaluate the educational software? Right? By looking at these factors, you determine that educational software you are use or not. Then what are the factors? Can someone tell me one factor? Can someone tell me one factor? Right. Then look at the presentation here. Here you use criteria to evaluate educational software. Then you can go through these one of the factors, right? These are the factors to determine the education of that particular educational software use or not for your organization or you personally. Number of students, right? So one of the big factor. How many number of students can access at once to your educational software, right? If it is increased, that means that's a good factor. That's a good software. If it is low, mean it's not a good software. Facility available. The second factor you want to consider, what are the facilities available with your educational software, right? Some example you can see within bracket, upload, download facilities, facility to conduct online classes, then creating grades, submission, assignment submission facilities, like that. There are many facilities. Then you want to go through these facilities. What are the facilities available? Right? If you have more facilities, mean that particular software is good software. If you have in low facilities, mean that particular software will be rejected for your purposes. Right. Then third one, way of supporting to available hardware. That's also the point you want to consider when you are purchasing or when you are receiving educational software. The type of hardware available with your computer, it must be support with the software, and otherwise your software will not run on your platform, on your computer. Therefore, before buying it, you want to check your hardware is applicable or match with the software. Then updates also another important factor. Normally software update in regular times. Then how you are going to get the updates? Before purchasing the educational software, you want to check out how updates can available. It may be through the internet or some person coming to your organization and update the system. Right. The type of update determine the educational software is applicable for your organization or not. Right. These are the some factors you want to consider to evaluate the educational software. Right. Now I think it was the last question in 2019 question paper part 1. Right. Before starting the 2018 paper, then another question I want to consider in the part 2. Right. Then look at the question paper. Yes. This one is the part 2. That means essay type question. There are 8 questions in the part 2. You want to write down only 5 questions. Answer any 5 questions. Right. Then look at the first one. Read the first question. ICT should be used with ethically and preserve the legal aspect. Question 1 asks, briefly explain computer ethics. Briefly explain computer ethics. Then question number 2, part 2 asks, briefly explain the following with respect of ethics of computer. Right? number one, privacy. Number two, piracy. Two terms here, privacy and piracy. Then part three, write down two legal issues in social media. Then look at the part one, briefly explain computer ethics. Then can someone tell me what is ethic mean? Ethics, that forgot about the part computer. Normal ethics mean the way you can behave in some place. Right? When you are going to some place, in that location having some rules, actually not legal rules, some kind of rules they are followed. Right? For example, if you are going to the school, then you want to accept all the rules in the school. These school rules may not be legal, right? But you want to follow it. Right? In that way, if you are going to some location, some organization, then you have to accept the rules that their own rules here. Then what is computer ethics? Computer ethics also, you want to follow some kind of rules when you are using the computers. Right? If you have a personal computer or a personal laptop or kind of technology device, if you are using these technology devices, you want to accept some common rules. Right? And the ethics says these rules are not legal. If you are break down this rule, if you are not, anyone can't take any legal action against you. Right? However, you want to follow it. As a good citizen, you want to follow the ethics. Right? Then look at the presentation here, and here explaining the computer ethics. Right. Look at the slide here. It giving some definition for computer ethics. Set of moral standards that govern the use of computer. It is society's view about the use of computers, both hardware and software. Right? Privacy concern, intellectual property rights, and effect on society are some of the common issues of computer ethics. And if you are not follow the computer ethics properly, then some of the issues you can see here. Right? It may be privacy concern, that next part will describe what is privacy. It may be intellectual property also I am explaining, or effect on society. And if you are break down the these rules, so computer ethics, you are not followed it, then you want to face this type of things. Right? Then look at the next one, computer privacy. Right? Privacy explain in the that mean actually private. Right? That here that explaining how far your personal information you are going to share with others. That actually how far, I mean when, how, to what extent. Then you want to determine when your personal information share with others. Then how you are going to share your personal with others. Then you want to determine it. That is your personal things. Right? Then to what extent you are going to reveal your personal information. Right. That here giving some example for personal information, name, location, contact information, like that. Some examples you can find there. Other type of personal information, also some sensitive information like birth date and credit card information. Also, they are can categorize under your personal information. Right. Then you want to determine ability of the person to determine when, how, and to what extent your personal information share with others. That is privacy. Right? Normally, you are protect your privacy when you are especially using the social media like Facebook. Right? you know that some person not reveal their name, birth date, their location, or hide, right? Because they are protecting their privacy. But some people give, without fearing, they are giving their name, location, contact information, all other things they are giving. Because of the giving all of this information, sometimes that particular person maybe get trouble, right? Because the other person can misuse this personal information, right? Because of this not privately secured your data, right? That is about computer privacy, right? Then another term, piracy. Then we'll understand the meaning of computer piracy also. That here 1 minute time, this session will be stopped because the time is out now, reach into out. After that, you can join through the same link. Right? After that, you can join through the same link. Right? Until stop the session, I will continue. Then look at the term piracy. Piracy here defined as software piracy is the act of stealing software. Right? Act of stealing software without getting the permission of owners of the software. The steal meaning they are not getting any way, they are not getting the permission. They are even not asking the permission. Right? The stealing software, act of stealing software can be identified as computer piracy. Right? Normally, intellectual properties. Intellectual property mean property which having some license, your own properties, your own production. Right? These are the computer intellectual properties. If you are trying to steal this intellectual property, that is called computer piracy. Not only stealing it, after you stealing, here we are discussing about the computer piracy, right? Not only stealing, that trying to copy the others' products. That's also under piracy. Copying, distributing, modifying, trying to modify or selling the software, right? All of these are under computer piracy. That's legally you are doing illegal things. You are doing illegal, right? Copying or stealing software mean illegal. Right? For example, suppose you purchase a software, MS Office software from a shop with a license. That is okay. Right? Purchasing original software through the internet or from a shop with a license key. Right? That is not breaking any legal. But if you are trying to giving a copy of your software to your friend, that means you are doing some illegal things. If you are trying to giving a copy of your software to your friend, that's illegal, right? Or if you are trying to modify and you are trying to set your name for that product, that is illegal, right? These are the some of the ways break down the software piracy, right? Then look at some another term, legal issues in social media. Mainly three factors here under legal issues: copyright infringement. Then your normally social media you are using to upload your own things, right? Your own it may be your own messages or your images, your own things, right? Then what happened under social media is others can download your ideas or your images from their computers. After they download it, then they are going to change and then republish it, right? This type of things under copyright infringement. Then defamation also another common factor when you are using the social media, right? Then you can understand it. It is in Sinhala apahasa kirima, right? That type of things can happen when you are using the social media. Also, fake testimonial, vyaja sakshi, right? You can present fake testimonials for some incidents, right? These are some legal issues when you are using the social media. Right. Then in this question paper, now you can answer for the part section 1, 2, and 3 in the first question. Then second, third, all of this question here, you have to think and write down the answers. Then briefly look at the second one. Efficient computer system changes the way of organization and people with interact in their day-to-day life. Briefly explain computer program. Computer program, right? The computer program, we can identify it as a set of instructions. Right? If you want to do something with the computer, then you can write down the instructions. Right? By giving instruction, if you are do something with the computer by giving the instruction, that is called computer program. Then briefly we can say set of instructions. Computer program is set of instructions. Right? Then you can write down some examples also for the computer program. Then C programming or C++, Java, Pascal. These are some examples for computer programs. Right. Then second part, write 4 types of personal computer hardware. 4 types of personal computer hardware. Can someone tell me one example for that? One type here asking 4 types. Computer hardware. Hardware, I mean everything we can touch in the computer. Right? This hardware you can categorize according to their work, their duty. They can categorize. Right? They are asking these categories, 4 categories. What are the 4
Input device,
categories?
output device.
Yes, correct. Input device. Then second one, output. What the other?
Output device.
That's the second one. Yes. Third one, storage.
Storage
device.
devices, pen drive like
Yes.
hard drive.
Yes. That's the third one. Third category, storage. Another one remaining, processing. Processing devices. Processing devices. Right. Example, CPU. Right. CPU is you can categorize under processing. Right. If you want to convert data into information. Right. That's a kind of processing. They are using processing devices. And next question, write 2 advantage of cloud storage. Cloud storage. What is cloud storage meaning? What the meaning that cloud storage? Normally, we know normal storage, right? The storage you can your data you can store in the storage devices like pen drive, hard disk are normal storage. Then what is cloud storage? Cloud storage means the storage facility given by the internet. right? Through the internet, there are some companies, organization giving the storage facilities. This is called as cloud facility. Through the cloud facility, you can save your documents, right? Your documents you can save in the cloud facility, right? That, for example, the good example is Google Cloud, right? That Google Drive, I think you heard about the Google Drive. Google Drive is one of the popular example for cloud storage. Through the Google Drive, you can save your document from your own computer. Then you can download it, your documents from another computer in somewhere else. Only the things you want to, you need internet connection. Without having the internet connection, you can't use this type of cloud storage there, right? Then what are the advantages here? Here asking two advantages using the cloud storage. The one advantage is their capacity, right? Capacity, they are giving big capacities. That means you can send large size document to remote distance, any remote locations, right? Normally you are having trouble with sending the document which having the large size. Normally Gmail not allowing to send in more than 25 GB. Then think about how you can send in the more than the size, document size having more than 25 MB, right? That possible answer is through the Google Drive. That way you can identify one advantage. You can send large documents through the cloud storage, right? Then what else? Then no need to maintain physical devices. Normally we know when we are maintaining the devices like pen drive, CDs, that type of devices may easily damage, right? Suppose your pen drive fallen into the water, then pen drive damage. The same thing happen for the the storage like CD, DVD, right? Easily damaged, right? Therefore, these type of things not happening when you are using the cloud storage, right? These are the some advantages when if you are using the cloud storage type of cloud storages, right? Then question number 3, learning management system. They are asking about the learning management system. Learning management system is a type of information system that normally used to the teaching learning process, right? That already we know these type of things. We already use some of the learning management system. Therefore, you are familiar with these type of things, right? Here asking the first question about briefly explaining learning management system, right? That you can give some definition for the learning management system. Is a type of information system normally used for teaching learning process. LMS having two views, the teacher view and the student view. In the teacher point of view, it will be able to upload the teaching materials. In the student point of view, in remote location, from remote location, students are able to download the materials. Not only upload and download, students are able to send in assignment. Then same time, teachers are able to send in the feedback, right? By sitting in the remote location, student and teacher can conduct the classes in online way, right? In that way, using 3 or 4 lines, you can explain what is LMS, learning management system. Then features, 4 features of learning management system. Then what are the features? Can use to conduct online classes, right? And then upload, download features. Teacher is able to upload the teaching materials. The student will be able to download it, right? then free capacity, free storage, right? Whatever the document you are uploading to the learning management system, there's a free storage, or we normally known as server. Server is available there. This all the document save inside the server. Right? In that way, you can identify the features. Then 2 examples. Then what are the common example for learning management system? Can remember the names? One the type of learning
Edmodo.
LMS we use actually. Yeah, Edmodo. Very good. You remember Edmodo. Then what else? E-Taxalav. Right? E-Taxalav. Then Moodle. Right? MS Team. Right? MS Team also another example for learning management systems. Right. The next question also the similar type of question. You want to think and write down. Think and write down. Right. Then I am stop discussing the question of this 2019 paper. Now I am moving to discuss some of the question from 2018. Then look at the paper here. If you are not available the paper with you, then I am trying to upload the question paper after the lesson here. Then if you are not getting 1 or 2 hours, right, again back into the lesson here, discussion. Right. In 2018 one, then first try to complete the first set of question. I try to discuss somewhat quickly here because I am having the power cut problem here. Therefore, my battery level is low. I am doing it using the batteries here, right? However, it will be finished from 20 minutes from now. Right, okay. Then try to give in the answers here. First 10 question for short answer type. Start with blank. First one consists of physical equipment. It is controlled by software and process data to create information. Process data, right? Controlled by software. Here, these are the points you want to consider, right? Controlled by software and process data. Then which device? Which part of the computer responsible with control process data? That part controlled by software.
CPU, sir.
Yes, correct. Central processing unit. CPU. Again, I am here with you. However, here having internet problem. That is why breakdown stopping happening here. Wait until loading my whiteboard here.